We're not just telling stories about Africa, we're telling stories from an African perspective, right? Even from thousands of miles away from Africa. And it's about bringing our lived experiences, I think, to the mic and making sure people understand Africa as we know it, not just as it's portrayed in mainstream media here in the West, which is still hugely problematic. I'm a big believer in this thing called cultural diplomacy. And I'm the one, yes, by day, I'm a news journalist at a public radio station here. But the Stew podcast is where I get to do my cultural kind of sociocultural stories about being African in this country. And a lot of it, of course, I'm from Sudan. Yes, I've lived here most of my life, but I've lived my formative years, I would call them, in Sudan. So let's see, middle school, high school, university. All of that was in Sudan. So I feel bicultural, I'm bilingual. And I love our cultures and how rich they are. And I've always believed that when a people know your culture, they will care about you more. Then they will follow your news. And we've been dealing with this issue in terms of why aren't our conflicts, our situations, our catastrophes, our humanitarian disasters not getting enough media attention, or not getting as, much media attention as other disasters in the world. And not to compare suffering, but it's been very frustrating, for example, for Sudanese around the world to see our suffering, not being covered, right? What's missing here, right? One, a lack of journalists and a lack of podcasters. And this is the gospel I preach. We need more Africans and people of African descent just in media, telling the stories, podcasting. The more of us there are, the better it will be in terms of people understanding who we are from our mouths. And if we're not at the table and if we're not in the newsroom, then somebody else is writing that story for us. So how can we keep complaining? That's my bottom line. I'm very serious about this issue. I'm like Dennis in this issue. I'm like, this is where I get really pumped up.